Teachers.
These are the directions for the student presentation project. This is your final project of the school year. At this time, make sure that you have your project packets. The cover of the project packets will look like this, and this is what the first page looks like. The next step is I'd like for you to place your name, your first and last name, on the packet where it says heading. On the packet, the heading would be located up here. Okay, that's a little better, right there. After doing that, I would ask that you read silently that first page of the packet, only the first page. Okay, at this time you've successfully read the first page or the cover page of the packet. Now the next slide that we're going to see might appear a bit imposing at first, but allow me to use it to explain this in more detail. Now first and foremost, please make note that this is going to be due on May the 27th. This is when the presentations will begin, so you have to be done and prepared for that day. The next thing I'd like to go over is how much is this going to be worth and how are you going to earn a grade on it. First and foremost, it is worth a total of 30 points. This is the largest project worth of the year. It's going to be broken down into 3 categories. The first is it's going to be worth 10 points for the presentation. It's going to be worth 15 points for the research and slide work that you'll create. And then you'll earn an individual grade of your behavior and note-taking of others' presentations. At this time, I'd like for you to go to the second page in your packet. And in the second page of the packet, you will see a rubric. This rubric, as seen here, is the rubric for how you will earn your grade of 10 points for the presentation. You'll notice it's broken down into 2-point categories. 2 points for all group members equally participating. The second area that you're going to earn a grade for the presentation is the length of the presentation. And please notice, it has to fall within a 2-minute increment of either 7 minutes max or 5 minutes minimum. This is worth 2 points. It's a all or nothing. You'll earn 2 or 0 points for this part. You will all earn a 2-point grade for the overall speaking quality of the group. Your group's ownership of the material that's presented is worth 2 points. And finally, you'll earn 2 points for the organization of the presentation to your classmates by you and your group. These presentations may be live or they can be taped, such as what I'm doing now with a screencast. Allow me a few moments here to help you understand how you can create slides or presentations. I'll begin with if you're making them on a Microsoft Office type of product. As seen down here in the lower left, you can use Microsoft Publisher. Over here in the right, you can also use Microsoft Word, or you can make any type of PowerPoint presentation using Microsoft or Apple. Now, a couple things to help you with this is there is a product known as Prezi, seen down here at the bottom. And Prezi is a computer-based slideshow facilitator. And there is something called Haiku Deck, which is also a computer as well as iOS, Apple product, iPad, or iPhone product. Now, the expectation with creating these slides is that each slide contain a few requirements. First of all, there should be one illustration or one infographic per slide. I would ask that there be no clip art. Clip art would be some type of cartoon that's computer generated. Now, in terms of an infographic, here's what I'd like for you to consider. This is an example of an infographic that I created. This explains how a territory becomes a state. You'll notice it contains information vital to the understanding of it, yet it also has some symbols and helpful types of things to get you to understand it. You may create an infographic such as this, and it will count as an illustration for each slide. There is a computer product known as Canva, and Canva, this is a creator of infographics. It is free, and if you go to the website titled Canva, you'll see here how you can make infographics. As already mentioned, you are to have a minimum of 8 slides for your presentation. Now you can have more than 8 slides, but if you go beyond 10 or 12, you're going to have a hard time falling under the 7-minute time frame. If you have less than 8 slides, you may have a tough time reaching your 5-minute minimum. Now, the other thing that I would ask seen here is that if you have anything, that you also provide the copyright of any picture. Now, you can have a copyright or bibliography slide at the end. That will not count as one of the 8 slides. That would be a 9th. But you may do it that way, or just have the copyright and bibliography for any on that slide that you've used it as. If you choose to go the route of creating a screencast or recording, here are several different ways you can do it. If you want to make a taped project using a computer, here are some helpful hints. Here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice it says Jing. This is a free application for desktop or laptop computers, and it will provide you 5 minutes of recording whatever on the screen with your voice using a microphone for your computer. The other application is something called AWW, and this is going to make your computer screen a whiteboard. Here's how it would look. You'll notice here's the website, a web whiteboard. Here's the website address at the top in the upper left. And all you're going to do is click Start Drawing, and up's going to come a whiteboard. You'll have a pencil application, different colors. If I just click pencil, thick, I'm going to go with the color of, purple, and you can just draw right on this board and record your voice as I'm doing here right now. Great application for explaining yourself. Another thing that I'd like you to consider over here in the upper left is 2 applications, Evernote as well as Google Drive. These 2 applications here are phenomenal for you as a group to share your work. These will allow you to physically actually see people typing and to send email and so forth back and forth to one another so that you can work from alternative locations. If you're going to create screencasts or recordings using iOS products, over here on the left are some apps that I highly suggest you use. These are recording apps. The one here is EduCreations, and this is wonderful. And EduCreations can be used to record. It is sort of a mid-level in terms of difficulty. The other one that I would like for you to consider is this one here, and this is known as Screen Chomp. And Screen Chomp, in my opinion, might be the easiest to utilize. It, like EduCreations, is free. The other one that is free and maybe one step up higher in terms of difficulty to use is called Dosery. And this one, very similar to the other 2, gives you a few more options. However, the one that is the best, but also comes with a brief price tag, is this one here, and it is called Explain Everything. It costs $2.99, but it is worth it. And it allows you to download pictures. It's a whiteboard, but also it is like a mini recording studio. You can actually clip out certain voice parts or any of the work that you've done. Another app that's useful here is the Whiteboard app, seen here, and this will make your iPad or iPhone a whiteboard. And then you can take a picture of the screen and use it as like clip art or something that would be useful that you've created. If you choose to go the route of being more creative with movie style types of things, a couple apps that can be useful. The first is Lumify, and this one is exclusively for the use of your iPhones, and it will record like a movie. It does have some subtle issues in terms of you can lose things with memory and so forth, but it is useful. The other one seen here is Magisto, Magisto, and this one also is kind of like a movie making studio. The other ones here, Puppet Pals. This is an app that can be used on an iPad, and that allows you to make puppets and record your voice, as well as this one here, Toontastics, where you can create cartoons to record and develop things. But all of these are good if you're going down the route of movie making. Now that I've provided you some examples of how you can create slides and or presentations, I want to go over the actual topics. Now there's going to be 10 topics, and we need to cover every one of the 10, which means there will be 10 groups in each class so that all 10 topics have all been covered. And so we're going to have 10 groups. Now, it doesn't matter to me whether there's one person in a group or as many as 10. The key here is that we have to have 10 groups so all 10 topics are covered. Now, given the fact that you now know there has to be 10 groups, I'd like for us to turn to the first topic that is seen in your packet. It will look like this. Topic number 1 is, and we're going to use this as an example, this is a topic known as American cultural change. Now, I'm going to use this as the example because it provides you the exact same framework of every single one of the topics. There are 10 topics, all have the same format. Each and every one of the topics, the first thing that it will say there is that it asks for you to explain the topic or title. This, in essence, could be your first slide of your 8 that is a minimum. The next thing that is provided is there will be 5 questions for every one of the topics. These questions are different topic to topic, but these are the essence of what I want you to get across to your classmates. Each one of these could be a separate slide each, so that would take you up to 6 total slides. Or you might need 1 or 2 slides per question. Below the questions, every one of the topics will have an area that has important terms, people, or other things to identify as seen here. And all of these items are bulleted. And these bulleted items provide you with key topics that you need to relate to in answering the 5 questions. I'm going to use as an example Lady Gaga, Madonna, Marilyn Monroe, and Abigail Adams. All of these individuals vastly different from hundreds of years apart. Abigail Adams, the wife of John Adams back in the 1770s, 1780s, and of course Lady Gaga in the modern era today. Now, if we go back up here to question number 1, it asks, how has education and how people dress or behave changed from the 1770s through the 1920s and today in the United States? These women would be a perfect example of being used in this question. And that's how it's going to relate. You're going to have to do research. You're going to have to look up all of the items that are important terms and people, but they're there to help you relate back to the 5 questions. Last and finally, on every one of the topics, you're going to notice there is a national public policy issue. This is basically a question that's unique to each topic. This question is, should the United States government regulate trends in clothing, style, TV and radio program, musical lyrics, and education in schools? Now you're going to notice this is basically very similar to the persuasive essays that you conducted in class already. You're going to be asked here to basically do the same as a group for this topic. There is no yes, there is no no. This is an opinionated question. The first thing you'll do is define the issue. Then you're going to explain the origin or starting point of the issue. Then you're going to explain how this issue is maybe present today, whether or not it was a problem today or not a problem today, or both. Then you're going to identify, apply, and explain how the core values relate to this. Last and finally, explain improvements later or futuristically in our nation. Now, again, this is the format for every one of the topics. The second topic here, equal rights. Again, you'll notice here, it's very same format, different terms and questions. War and peace is the third topic. The fourth topic is genocide, which is mass murder of a group of people, either by race, religion, or creed. The next issue, the fifth, is transportation. The sixth issue is rural and urban America, meaning living in the cities versus in areas that are more open or farmland. The next issue that you'll have the opportunity to work on is the American presidency. The eighth issue is terrorism. The ninth issue is the communication revolution. And last and finally, the 10th is modern economic trends. When you make your slides, make sure that you have slides that are easy to read, the pictures are clear, and you have bulleted items. Basically, what you're seeing on the screen right now is a slide that is terrible. This one, the pictures are poor, it's all wordy, and it will prompt you to read during your presentation, which will take longer, and it will result in you going over the 7-minute maximum. I suggest you use bulleted items and that you create slides that are going to be easy to see and understand. Use flashcards if you're a little hesitant about the information. Hold the slide cards, explain bulleted items. Okay, now it's time for us to create our groups. Here's how this will be conducted. In a moment, you're going to be allowed to get with your groups, and you're going to be able to choose whom you want to work with on your own. You can work on it individually, by yourself, or with others. Here's what you're going to do once you're with a group. The first thing is choose a captain for the group. One person, I want you to have a captain. So that'll be the first thing. The next thing that's going to happen is after you have the captains are going to come up right to this screen, and you're going to form a line behind one another. And that line is going to exist until we have 10 people in the line, because we need to have 10 groups. Now, if you're in a larger group, expect that there might be the possibility that your group be divided up into half, so that one half of you will take on one topic, the other half another topic, essentially splitting your group in two. After we have 10 individuals in line, the next thing is that each of you are going to sign in your name where your group appears. Okay, now that's going to happen after we have randomly chosen the topics. Now the topics are going to be chosen using the fare box. In the fare box, you're going to be given a topic. Now, after you get the topic, as I said, you'll sign in. Only the captain's names in each of the areas for the topic, whatever it is. Here's the topic number. So if you get topic 7, you're signing in here. Now, after getting the topic, I do not mind if individual groups swap topics. That's fine with me. We just need to make sure that we have all 10 topics have to be covered. So make sure that that happens. Well, that concludes the directions for your student presentation project. Good luck with it, and most importantly, make sure that you have a lot of fun.